I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is how to handle relationship jealousy. This is a subject on which I routinely give consultations in my private practice. Jealousy is an extremely corrosive emotion. I've only felt it a couple of times in my life, but I can tell you it is my least favorite emotion. Like, I hated it. It's a terrible feeling. So if at all possible, we want to prevent the fluorescence of this emotion in our relationships. Because a person who has been overcome with jealousy is subject to all kinds of destructive and regrettable behavior. So it's best to think of jealousy like a powerful spice. Just a little bit of it can make your food more interesting, but any more than that, and it will probably ruin the dish. This means that jealousy is something that needs to be managed, and it's your responsibility to manage your own emotions. So let's talk about how to do that today. To begin with, what you need to understand is that jealousy only manifests in response to a perceived romantic threat. If a 300-pound unemployed screen jockey who lives in his parents' basement slid into your girl's DMs, I don't think you'd have a problem. You might even be able to have some fun with it, like, whoa, that's a fine fish you reeled in here. Are you sure you want to settle for little old me when there's so many more attractive options out there in the world for you? And why would you be able to play this off so easily? Because you wouldn't feel threatened by this guy at all. Jealousy only manifests in response to a perceived threat, and the perceived threat is always the same, namely the belief that the other party might be better than you in a self-relevant dimension of your identity and might therefore be a better option for your partner than you are. You might feel many things when another man hits on your girl: amusement, disgust, bewilderment, but you'll only feel jealousy if this condition is fulfilled. The key here is to understand that this is just your perception. Jealousy is a response to a perceived threat. He might not actually be a threat in reality. He might be, but he might not be. You understand? The issue, however, is that as soon as you start to act from a place of jealousy, which usually looks like contemptuous, critical, or controlling behavior, what you're effectively doing is communicating to your partner that you think this other person is a better option for her. And that might change her perception to align with yours. I cannot stress this enough. Your woman might not see a man as a better option until you start to express jealousy about him. That's why it's not a good idea to plant that idea in your woman's head, which is what you essentially do when you start behaving jealously. This means that no matter what, even if you feel that hot, evil feeling rising inside of you, you have to put on your best poker face and express indifference to, let's say, casual interactions. Casual interactions are behaviors that, while potentially slightly unusual, still fall within the range of normal behavior. These could be things like talking to someone a bit longer than you might like at a cocktail party, or communicating with someone over social media. Remember, whatever you attend to gets bigger. I understand that you do not like this behavior and you feel the need to take action to ensure it doesn't happen again in the future. But flying into a jealous rage or trying to control who she can talk to and when and under what conditions isn't going to do that. What it is going to do is make you significantly less attractive, because when is emotional instability ever attractive in a man? Well, at the same time, making the other person significantly more attractive. And this not only because you have effectively communicated that you yourself believe this other guy to be more attractive than you are, but also because few things in life are more irresistible than forbidden fruit. And when you start to control or restrict your partner's behavior, you make the forbidden more attractive to her than it otherwise would be. I don't make the news, I just report it. Now, before I go any further, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from its message, because it's word of mouth referrals like this that really help to make the channel grow. You can also hit the thanks button and tip me in proportion to the value you feel you've derived from this episode. I rely on your support to make all this happen. I really appreciate it. I will also soon be starting a weekly newsletter, so if you want to opt in, you can do so on my website. Finally, if you're thinking of going to grad school, then check out my top-rated GRE study program at stellargre.com. I read the whole thing. You'll love the content. It's awesome. Check it out. Okay, let's get back to it. All right, so you don't want to do things to destabilize your relationship and increase your woman's attraction for other men. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to adopt the attitude that other men make me look good. And given the general state of men these days, this, unfortunately, is not actually a very high bar. Other men make me look good. And if you can't bring yourself to believe that yet, all right, then take a look at your life and do what you need to do to be able to say that to yourself with conviction. Take care of your health and your finances and your lifestyle and make it happen. Because when you arrive at that place where you can confidently say, other men make me look good, you're going to feel, all other things being equal, that you are a woman's best option. And when you feel that way, you won't need to rely on games of manipulation or control to keep her with you. Think of it like this. A man in this state is the king. And what did kings do back in the day when they were going to wife somebody up? They took their bride to be around the whole kingdom and showed her off like a prize pony. And all the peasants would line up to see her and kiss her hand and say things like, verily, the fairest blossom in all the land. And, oh, if only I were 20 years younger. And your eyes are fiery orbs plucked from the fabric of the firmament, etc. And the king didn't get upset. His subjects would low-grade flirt with his fiancée right in front of him, and he'd just smile and nod his head. Why? Because he understood that the peasant's appreciation for her beauty was actually a way of respecting him. It was their way of saying, good choice, my liege. Do you understand? And the king doesn't even imagine getting upset because kings know that women don't leave kings for peasants, because that's not how women operate. Now, does that mean that kings never become jealous? No, it does not. However, when kings do become jealous, it's when they forget that they're kings. So to defend against the fluorescence of jealousy, you need to A, do the things you need to do so that you can confidently say to yourself that other men make me look good, i.e. to ascend to your kingship, and B, react to any perceived threats in the same way that you would react to a perceived non-threat. And this is an essential skill to learn because, let's be honest, men are going to lust after your girl. They are going to try to seduce your girlfriend. Even marriage doesn't prevent this. Men are still going to shoot their shot. The only way to prevent this from happening is to get with an ugly girl. I'm serious. Commit to the woman that no other man wants, and you won't have to deal with this problem. But is that really worth it? Probably not. On the other hand, if you want a beautiful, desirable woman, you're going to have to deal with the fact that other men are going to want to fuck her. Okay? And you can deal with that by abiding in your kingship. Understand that their hitting on her is actually a reflection of your power and status. Why? Because she's with you, you dummy. Just remember, other men make you look good. They don't have your woman. They're just making you look better. And women don't leave kings for peasants. That's not how they work. Make sense? What do you think? Does this fit with your own experience? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've gotten this far, you might as well like this episode and subscribe to this channel. You may also consider becoming a channel member with perks like the priority review of comments or booking a paid consultation. As always, thank you for listening.